Hello, is anyone there?
Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear us?
Maybe.
Is there anybody out there? Just not if you can hear me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. It is Monday, and you know what that means. It's time to play Hellions eventually, which is what we're doing now.
Hellions
Oh.
eventually, because these intros tend to go on a little bit.
Well, and because we tend to be getting ready for a little bit too long a lot of the time. But welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah. If this is your first time here, we are Hellions. It's a bunch of, we used to be college students, and you'll realize that we're not anymore. We play with some time loop shenanigans. I'm just gonna post the little command in chat. But yeah, well, we are no longer a 5e homebrew campaign. We are now a Pathfinder 2e campaign. So we are learning a new system as we go. So please be gentle with us. And also just
Specifically me, I'm very fragile.
And also, we rule of cool and custom a lot of things, so don't be too distraught if and when we choose to disregard the rules and create our own. But yeah. I guess let's just get right into intros. If you were here last week, you'll know that stuff this loop is quite different, and we are going to be covering that as we go. But we thought
As
we
you
would
can
just
see by everybody's new little avatars, things have definitely been shaken up.
Yes, quite muchly. Words are hard today, guys.
Words are very hard.
But yeah, so we're just gonna go through and kind of reintroduce the characters and where we're at. And then yeah, we'll get into warnings and recaps and eventually play a game.
So
yeah. Guess we will.
We're doing it.
Yeah, we'll start with Babs. Go for it.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. My name's Babs. You can find me online at Mustache Babs. I'm a writer, and I am delighted to play Noelani for you. She's a water genasi, newly arrived from the Fey realm. She was sent by her mother on a couple of diplomatic activities, but she's most certainly looking forward to being in the general sort of real world outside of the Fae. She wasn't usually allowed out, so she's happy to be here and happy to touch things.
That sounds threatening in a way.
Good.
She's happy to touch things. Hi, I'm Ned. You can find me on the internet as at Ned Lazarus Wolf. I am a writer and artist, and I'm playing Tal. Tal is a druid half-elf from not from the city, and he's not happy to be here. He would much rather be in the forest and with the plants and animals that he knows well. That's it.
That's it.
Good.
Hi, I'm Danny. You can find me at By Shalane on Twitter and Tumblr. I'm a freelance illustrator. I'm playing Yenna, who this loop is preparing for the life she's been told she's always supposed to have. She's eventually gonna get married to someone rich and powerful. And yeah, so she's starting that phase of her life. She's not sure if she's in love with that, but, she'll make the best of it. Probably.
You are all goblins. The amount of goblin energy you guys are bringing into this.
What?
We're just making some kecky noises, it's fine.
Listen,
we're regular energies.
We are just responding to the energy we are served, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
The
gonna
idea
was-
of
back off
Yenna
then.
looking in the mirror and being like, "It's fine. This will be fine. I'll be happy. Probably, maybe."
I will make myself happy. I will make it happen. I'm manifesting. That's my whole thing right
Point
now.
finger itself. Just deal with it.
Yenna's going
Yes.
through her affirmations phase.
Yes. I will make this stupid boy fall in love with me. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Obviously, what could go wrong?
What could possibly ruin her plan?
Hi everybody. I'm Dodger, and I am playing Yule MossBluff, who this loop is a young investigator who has been spending quite a few years now with her slightly unhinged conspiracy theory mom. But she's pretty sure that some of her mom's theories actually have some merit. And so I'm currently pursuing some of those things with a bunch of people who are totally fine and normal, and I'm sure not bad.
Oh yeah, they're totally fine and normal. It's okay. We'll all be fine.
Everything will be
Yep.
fine.
I'm just gonna go to a party and have a normal time.
Yep. All of us will be extremely normal at this party.
Yeah. And speaking of this party, hello. I'm Nick. I'm at Nick. Wow, I'm at Nick Terhorst and at Nick.tattoos everywhere on the internet, and I am a tattoo artist, which is unsurprising by that second one, I guess. And I am playing Del GoldPetal, the young Lord Del GoldPetal, who is a good boy who's never done anything wrong, and is the host of the party. That is his engagement party to the lovely Yenna. So this is fine. I'm sure it's all fine. And yeah, he's just, out here doing young lord things. I was like hooking up with his steward,
Yeah,
things.
it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Things young lords do.
Things that will just bring scandal to the family for generations.
Absolutely.
But that's literally what young lords are for, so it's fine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, he's the heir to the GoldPetal name. And yeah, is set to get married and get to the get engaged. I think it's going to be a very long engagement, but get engaged and move to the next phase of his life.
Which will be being married and still seeing his manservant.
Listen, it's fine. It's probably fine.
Yenna absolutely will allow that to happen.
Maybe. We don't know.
Oh. And to end this delightful roundup of those of us who play this game, hi! I'm the DM. You can find me at Doodle on Twitter. You can find me at Jess Taylor Arts most everywhere else. And during the day, I am a comic artiste and writer. During the night, I like to deal emotional damage to these idiots. Welcome to Hellions. I hope that you guys are here to have a very good time. We do have a special announcement this week.
We do?
Oh, is that what I missed?
Yeah, which is that one of our number is now a GLAAD award-winning writer. So, a big congratulations to Ned.
Yay!
Thank you.
Clap, 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 clap,
Yay,
clap.
Ed.
The comics, I was in an anthology, comic anthology last year called Young Men in Love. It is all stories by and about queer men and masked individuals who love men. And I had a story in there called Another Name, and it won, and the anthology as a whole won the GLAAD Award for Best Comic Book Graphic Novel / Anthology, which was really exciting. And of course, I immediately forgot that this was a thing that happened. So Me trying to remember if I added that to a bio that I just sent.
Who knows?
Oopsie.
Who knows?
That's between us and our editor now.
Yeah.
The rest is up to our editor. But yes, welcome to the second episode of this loop reset. For those of you who are jumping in for the first time, because I know there are a few of you who are taking this opportunity of strangeness and difference to join us, are welcome. I'm just going to run through a very quick little recap of the Hellions story up until this point. Once upon a time, there was a great Lyceum, a school of magic and adventuring known across all the lands that called Carnocht, the City of Anvils, home. It was here that 6 of its students uncovered a grave secret. The Hellions of Carnocht, GoldPetal, Tal Erringwell, Yule MossBluff, Yenna Mun, Noelani Menderes, and Zanthe Kalhir, through little fault of their own, dragged an old dragon from his sleeping and scheming beneath the halls of the school, and out into the light. Abraxas was his name, a Mercury dragon whose motives, while unknown, were hardly friendly. Carnocht, you see, was stuck in a time loop, the same 400 years playing out over and over again, and Abraxas, the children feared, was using all that time for evil. Banding together and aided by magical stones that allowed them to live through the time loops with their memories intact, they tried to stop him, to get to the bottom of these loops as friends and gods were drawn into the fray. It wasn't long before they discovered the truth. The time loops were caused by a perpetual motion machine, the likes of which nothing had been seen before. With the help of a professor and friend, Balthazar Klein, the Hellions learned that many loops ago, back in the original timeline of Carnocht, one of their very own, the very first GoldPetal, the original Tink, had brought all of time and space crashing down for one reason: to save the life of the man he loved. Together, the Hellions moved to confront him and Abraxas both, but Tink Prime was wily. With the help of his draconic friend, he infiltrated the Hellions, stealing their stones at their most vulnerable moment, and leaving only Zanthe and a precious few others to carry the burden of memory. Our story starts in the very next loop, in a very new Carnocht, with a very changed set of Hellions.
Well, thank you. And yeah, I'll just go over. I posted it in chat, but we do have a warning. And that is that we are a mature stream. We will be swearing, doing, all kinds of crazy stuff that's not necessarily recommended for all audiences, so viewer discretion is advised. We practice safe gameplay and we have our safety systems in place, but we also encourage all of you to practice safe watching. And please check out and don't be scared to miss parts of the story if you find any of the scenes uncomfortable. And we'd really love for you guys to let us know if anything like that happens. The best place is probably over at our Discord. But yeah, so we can be mindful of certain subjects in the future. As for last week's recap, yeah, I'll just go right into it.
Do it.
After the original Tink took the Hellion stones and reset the loops, things have been different. The Hellions have been without their memories since the start of this loop and are finally meeting up again, 2 years after their normal meeting day. In a loop without the Lyceum or their memories, the Hellions have gathered for the first time at the house of the young Lord GoldPetal, who is set to marry Lady Yenna of House Mun. Noelani and Tal are there to join the engagement party to try and curry the favor of the GoldPetal family. Meanwhile, Yule MossBluff and her mother are sneaking in through the back door after a meeting with a strange man named Abby, who tips them off to some temporal anomalies that supposedly started when GoldPetal came to Carnocht.
settling right into tonight's session. Yenna,
Hmm. Yeah.
this is your night, or should be your night. It is a celebration of everything that you and the House of GoldPetal have been working towards for the last 2 years. It is a culmination of treaties and discussions and contracts long in the making. Instead, you seem to have found your fiance and his steward somewhat wanting. With but a scant hour before the ball starts, is there anything that you would like to do around the Gold Petal Manor?
Um, I know that there was potentially someone else who should have been at least either part of my contingent or at least ready to, you know, ready for my arrival. Do I know his address or any way to contact him?
Unfortunately, for all that you knew, Hyunwoo was going ahead of you as your eyes and ears in the city. You haven't heard from him for the last few weeks.
Okay.
He'd promised to meet you at the docks, and unfortunately, you hadn't seen him at the time and had gone with Belial instead. And for all that you've been settled into very comfortable rooms and your entourage has been shown to their own and made sure to start unpacking for you, Hyunwoo still hasn't made an appearance. There are a couple of your staff who have definitely taken notice of this, and you would hear them talking about it as they are setting up your belongings.
Mm-hmm. Is their tone scandalized or are they concerned?
Roll insight.
Okay. That's 19 plus a million. No. I don't think insight's a thing anymore.
It's part of perception.
Oh, okay.
For future
Perception.
reference, perception and insight are the same in Pathfinder. They have both been rolled into one stat.
Okay, I wasn't
If
sure if
I
it was
say roll insight, I just mean roll perception.
cool. All right, 27 then.
Okay. There is a definite tone of concern.
Okay.
The conversation is very, but he'd promised to be there. He wouldn't have made promises that he couldn't keep, as they are going around and setting up things.
Yeah.
One of the stewards does kind of do a little mutter of, I mean, Carnocht is supposed to be rough outside of the very well-to-do area. Perhaps he's fallen afoul of something else.
Love that. Is how This is a fun question. Do I assume my staff is like, very, very capable, like potentially has extra skills beyond just like we make house and, can iron dresses? Is there anybody on my staff that is like extra capable?
You have 3 people on your staff who are extra super duper capable. 2 of which are assigned bodyguards,
Mm-hmm.
and the third of which is your lady's maid.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna need her. I'm going to probably ask the 2 bodyguards if they could go and see what they can find out. If he was supposed to be there and like it is genuinely super strange that he wasn't, it's like, why don't you go to the docks? Why don't you go like look around town where we suspect he would be living and go find him?
Hey. With a deep bow, they both nod their assent and head from the room. It could be some time before you hear from them,
Yeah, I'm prepared for that. I think she's just like, I need any information at all.
Is there anything else that you would like to do before the party in specific?
I assume get ready for the party. It's a matter of appearance at this point, and she just got off a fucking boat, so it's like, no, we're gonna get dressed up to the nines. Like, we're going to make sure that they know that I'm a force to be reckoned with, and so is my family. So it's like full Princess Hanbok time.
Considering that this is very much a performance, can I get you to roll society as you get ready?
Sure. Ooh, nat 1. Plus 11. So
Oh no, baby girl.
Beautiful. That will come into play.
great.
Oh,
I'm
no.
so glad.
Dell,
Hi.
you have an hour before you have to appear before the majority of the rich bastards of Carnocht as a soon-to-be married man.
He maintains it is not a wedding. It is not a wedding. It is an engagement that is a legally binding marriage, but it is an engagement. It is not a wedding, and he doesn't know why everyone has to be here.
Is this a rant that you are currently going on?
Probably in his room, sprawled out on his bed to Belial.
As you're saying all of this, Belial is throwing certain pieces of clothes at you.
Why do I need different
First
clothes?
is a cravat. Second is a shirt. Then there's a very fine waistcoat. And then there's just a little kick to the end of the bed that makes it shudder just a little bit. Get up and get dressed. We've been through this already today.
So what? I can only have one crisis per day.
Yes, and you've already used it this morning.
I'll get up and start getting ready. I just... I don't know. We've barely even got a chance to talk.
I don't like her.
What do you mean?
I made a mistake. I don't like her. And he sits on the end of the bed with his head in his hands. You've used your one breakdown of the day. I'm having mine.
Okay. I don't know what we do about that. There's nothing. We make the best of this. That's the agreement. We make the best of this. You learn to like her. And he's gonna start like getting ready.
How can I learn to like her if she won't even give me a chance? I think she already hates me.
I mean, you know how most people of... You know how most rich fuckers are with the help, and he uses the word like very dismissively. She doesn't know you. It's fine, ba. It's first day, that's all. I don't think any of us have made a particularly good impression.
Well, we better start. There's going to be so many people walking through this house in very short order.
Dell's just giving
And
him a look
they
like we
need to
could tell them to leave. They don't have to be here.
Are you saying that?
No, his eyes are saying it.
Lyle just kind of presses both his hands to his lips and is like, I understand what you want. but we cannot turn away half of Carnocht.
It's
It's
just
too late.
it's a lot of people. It's just a lot of people. And I think as he's
I'm going
like
to go put her back on the boat. He starts to leave.
as Del is changing, I think he probably notices the new pocket watch fall out of his waistcoat as he takes it off. And before Ba goes to leave, is gonna be like, oh wait, I know I'm not supposed to open the gifts, but I opened one of the gifts before I remembered I wasn't supposed to open the gifts.
I'm not supposed to open the gifts.
You weren't there to tell me whether or not I was supposed to open the gifts, and it was, you know what, it was she was.
Adam was supposed to remind you.
They didn't remind me, and it's okay. And I didn't open the rest of the gifts. I only opened the first one. I figured it out pretty quickly on my own that felt like a wrong thing to. But look at this.
I'm proud of you.
And he's gonna hold up the little pocket watch. Isn't it neat?
Roll insight.
Oh, I wish I rolled better. 17.
Belial goes still for a moment, just kind of blinking in surprise, and reaches out to just tap pocket watch and watch it swing. A very fine piece. It is beautiful.
Yeah, and it looks like there's like more pieces to it. And Del's gonna kind of like flip it over in his hands and like he's just like looking at it again, just in interest. He likes new things. He likes little. I don't know.
What do you think it does? It looks special.
I mean, it may not do anything. It's a timepiece, but it could do something. It was from the emissary from the Feywilds, so maybe it's like got some weird Fey shit going on. I don't know. Oh, did we lose? Uh-oh.
They said, "Oh no, pizza." So
Oh, okay, that's fine.
they
Give me
left
2
you
seconds,
hanging
guys.
for pizza,
You're good.
dude.
You're good. I was just like, uh-oh. Because I've been getting disconnected from Discord like a bunch lately. Oh, so how's it going, chat? I'm gonna put her back on the boat and Bilal was never seen again. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I replied in voice, and I forgot I was muted. They
Story of
stripped
my
away.
life. I've been
We've all been there.
muted for the last like 15 minutes and keep forgetting that I'm muted.
Trying to let the boys have some privacy, God.
God, get out of here. Leave us
I didn't want a
alone.
repeat of last week where I just like started burping.
Oh.
This is fair. This is fair. Oh, I need to mark down that our lovely DM was given inspiration. I'm sure that won't be problematic for us at all.
That
No.
won't be used against us.
No.
I love
Of
you,
course
Rex, for
not.
doing this immediately after my nat one. I don't know, but I appreciate it, though.
Yeah, you could, fun fact, you could give us, the players,
Yeah,
some help.
Why not save me from myself?
Don't listen to them, guys. Give me all of the inspiration. I realize that this is not the most professional thing, and I apologize. This is what happens when the DM takes a nap before session and can't do anything.
We just,
We wanted our
DM
DM to
needed a
eat.
nap.
We really wanted our DM to eat.
We did want our DMT, so
I was encouraged.
you were
And
encouraged.
I'm running very quickly back to the desk.
Okay. I was already in the middle of typing it when the nat one happened. Sure. Sure.
Likely
We believe
story.
you, Rex. We believe you.
Rex is like very lucky that I am not a spiteful DM.
Yenna's rich. She already has advantage. Listen.
Hey.
This loop is such a social commentary.
Oh god, this loop is a mess of social
mean,
commentary.
Literally all of our kids are rich kids of some sort.
Oh yeah.
And then Yule.
And then there's me.
Hi.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
And
kick
we can't
down the
forget
door
Sam.
of classism.
Speaking of Yule,
Wait.
Del, I would like you to roll
Oh,
one more
God.
insight
Oh god, okay.
What?
as Belial kind of pushes the pocket watch towards you.
25.
Something has definitely disquieted Belial. You would say he looks worried, but it's a different kind of worried than you've ever seen. Like, you know Belial's worried face. And he has many of them because he is just a professional worrywart.
Yes.
This
I
is
know
one
this.
that you've not seen before. This is a flavor of worry that you have not been privy to. And he pushes the watch back towards you. I don't know anything about it, but I would suggest that you keep it safe.
Are you sure? You don't know anything about it?
Looks like fine workmanship, but other than that, no.
And I think Del rather plainly is giving him a bit of a look like that's like skeptical, like, why are you lying to me? And nods and puts it in the pocket of like what he's currently wearing.
Belial reaches out and just puts his hand over the pocket that you've put it in as well. Like, just keep a very tight hold on it.
If you know.
Gift from the Fae. They'll definitely be keeping tabs on it.
Right.
Right.
And
Now
Del
get
looks
dressed, and I'm
clearly
going to-
unconvinced. Like, not convinced at all.
Belial starts heading for the door again and is like, I've got a small demon to chase out of the house.
Which one?
The one that you are intended to marry.
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to remove that one. That was what I was scared of. He's gonna like be pulling on his jacket and like not, if this man actually leaves, not let him out of his sight.
On the other side of the house, in the dark of night, as the lights of Carnocht raise like stars in a sea of ink, you find yourself wrangled into a starched and incredibly frilly maid's dress with
Good.
matching ribbons in your hair and a set of shoes that are definitely a size too small. Your mother is ecstatic about this and keeps tugging at her own frilly pinafore. It's like, look at this, isn't this fine? We look great.
Yeah, you look great, maybe. I can't even walk in these things.
Look, at least it's got a fluffy enough skirt that you can hide all your things. And she pinches your cheeks. We're gonna do good.
Okay.
We're gonna do good things, Yule.
Yes. Right. So we're dressed. What's the plan?
The plan is to look like we fit in. And she leads you around the side of the house to an entrance where you can see several people dressed like you, several maids, and there are also stewards in very upright and obnoxious suits that obviously seem to be what rich people think fades into the background, but definitely doesn't. For one, all of the suits are like a bright bottle green. And they're
Can I
standing
ask?
around talking and
Sorry.
smoking and sharing drinks. What would you like to do?
Uh, would it be a society role for me to check if I know sort of how to behave in this situation to blend in?
Yes. Yes, it would.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. One sec. Okay, 23.
With a 23, you're not 100% certain about how the staff would act on their off hours. You know that they are supposed to be seen but not heard and fade as much into the background as possible when they're working. But you aren't entirely sure about what they would be like in a house like this when they are not at their specific posts and stations.
Okay. But I have an idea of how to behave when I'm around like the actual people who own this place.
Yeah, you've got an idea in your head of how that works. You've read enough novels and stories of how servants in a house should act. Have you
Okay.
seen it in action? Absolutely not. Do you think that all of the servants have every single piece of gossip and conspiracy? Absolutely yes.
Okay. Can I um can this be as silly as this sounds, can this be a new investigation? um
Of course it can.
that I want to observe especially since I'm in a room filled with them right now before
You
we're like technically
technically
working.
you technically already filled one of your investigations. You found your mother.
Yes. Yeah.
So you can swap this one in.
Okay. I want my along with finding the time device thing as one of my investigations. I want the other one to be doing my best to observe the other people working here to blend in as well as possible.
Some of those roles will be society roles, but you can definitely do that, yes.
Okay, cool. Um, yeah, then uh I think Yule is going to try to not really, stand out. I think her mom does a really bad job probably of not standing out sometimes, but she's going to try to just use this time to observe people before they need to be like on the clock, so to speak.
Sorry, I was muted and I didn't realize. Um,
No problem.
wow, we're really hitting that 12 vibe check. Sorry. Um, the first thing that you notice is that they are all gossiping. Two of the stewards and servants are sharing a pack of smokes among the group. And I'm like, can't believe that they're throwing a party this big just for a goddamn wedding. God, when I got married to Liza, we did hardly anything. It was just us two down at the chapel. But no, big old house, 100+ people. At least we're getting overtime. One of the maids brings out several cups of tea on a tray and is like, you have no idea. They have started arriving. Several of them are just sat on their fancy little seats, just waiting for things to start. The dresses. Oh my god, they look amazing. How would you like to
Cool.
approach them?
Oh, do I need to approach them?
If you would like to gain entry, they are currently between you and the back of the house.
Oh, I see. Oh, so we have to. Well, does like, are we seeing other people just walking in or no?
Roll perception.
Okay. Do I get my +1?
You do get your +1, yes.
Baby, let's go.
Abilities in Pathfinder, man. Did you
Sorry, I
roll?
got to I got to re-roll a thing, so it took me a second. I got a 28.
Okay. With a 28, there are definitely people who are walking in and out. The unfortunate thing that you notice, however, seems to be that there is someone in a very uptight suit on the door who appears to know everybody going in and out and is waving them through.
Oh god, okay. Um, are we far enough away from people that I could whisper something to my mom?
Yes.
I would say, okay, it looks like that guy knows everyone who works here. I think our best bet is probably going to be to walk in with people. Um, I think probably Yule and her mom have snuck into plenty of places before, and they tend to sort of like step in along with people. I'm saying it this way because I have a feat that is literally this for being a halfling.
Yes.
um, so I think that would be the implication here from Yule is like I think we should wait for people who are maybe a little bit bigger than us and wearing something similar so that our outfits blend in and see if we can just go unnoticed.
Got it. Operation Party Animal underway. And she rubs her
Oh
hands
god.
together and immediately
Oh,
starts
sure.
like trying to look out for a group.
Fantastic. I would love to also look out for a group.
Please roll perception.
I will. I rolled the same again at 28.
There are a few groups around you at the moment, mainly the ones who are at the gate, which is where you are currently standing, who are the ones talking, sharing a smoke and drinks. But there is also a larger group that you see are carrying in boxes. You might be able to sneak in with them. For one, there's quite a few of them, and for two, if you hold the box the right way, they won't be able to see your face.
Okay. Yep, let's do that.
Okay. This is where the DM is like, what check do we do right now?
Um so there I know that there's both hide and sneak as actions.
There is
Um
indeed. Um, Let's make this a sneak check.
Okay, now I'm trying to figure out a thing. So is it that like all of the skills sort of have a tree of things that fall under that skill?
From what I gather, yes.
Okay,
I
so
believe so.
Yeah.
Um,
like both hide and sneak would be under stealth, I
Hide and
assume?
sneak.
yeah, so if you go to your actions and look up sneak, it'll bring it up, but it is effectively a competitive stealth and perception.
Okay.
But if
I
you
would say the other
have
thing that you could do would be a deception roll. Or a performance if you wanted to try and do this not so much as a sneak as a walk through the front door and try to blend in.
I would definitely prefer stealth if I can do that.
Yep, you can indeed. You can indeed.
Fantastic.
I just posted it in chat.
but there is a circumstance bonus from cover that
There is.
you
Yes.
could choose DM's discretion, but maybe some boxes count.
I think in this circumstance, the boxes are definitely big enough and movable enough to count. Like, you're not trying to hide yourself so much as you are just trying to hide your identity.
Right. Yes. We want to just blend in with a group of people who are bringing in boxes and hope that that there's enough of us that he's not going to squint too much. I rolled a 26 for stealth.
What is your stealth modifier?
14? Sweats.
Okay. It's alright, I'm still getting used to the numbers. This is why we said to chat at the beginning of the session, please bear with us. Pathfinder is very similar to D&D 5e, but also very different in a lot of ways.
Oh wait, so what Nick
Did
is
you
saying, do I get a +2 then to
you
that?
do get a +2. Was that not included in your roll?
No, so it's a 28 then.
Okay. With a 28, you come upon the man at the door, and you see that he's got a list of names apparently in his hand, along with a list of items. The people that you are walking with just shout out what they're carrying in for him to cross off. You manage to duck through without shouting anything out and keeping the box in front of your face. As far as you're aware, he doesn't know.
Oh, thank God. Okay, great.
He just waves a hand and is like, go on, take it through. We've got no time for this. Keep it moving, hurry up. And claps a few times, making like a shooing
Okay.
motion.
I would follow the group as they're taking in the boxes, just so as not to, since it is a group, I don't want to just set the box down and have them be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Pick up the box.
Luckily for
So,
you, they're not being carried very far. The entry that you're at opens immediately into what is obviously a very busy kitchen. There is steam in the air,
fantastic.
there's all of the smells of cooking gourmet food. There are people running to and fro with hot pans and boiling water, and a chef calling out instructions. Where are my potatoes? I need my potatoes. There's definitely some saffron around here somewhere. It is chaos. But everybody seems to know where they should be and what they should be doing. I would like you to roll society just to see if you can
Okay.
fit in.
Okay. Oh my gosh, my luck is gonna run out eventually. 32.
Absolutely beautiful. You put down the box where all of the other boxes are. And whilst you see that the other box carriers immediately go outside to get more, you manage to step into the flow of traffic, following a couple of people who are wearing very similar uniforms to you who are carrying trays. Your mom steps
Um,
into line with you and picks up a silver tray.
yeah, I was gonna ask if I could also just sort of pick up a tray casually.
Absolutely, there are some that are filled with food and there are some that are empty.
Is everyone does everyone seem to be picking up trays with food, I
Roll
assume?
perception.
Okay.
Like, it is busy in there. Roll perception, see if you catch it.
Ooh, not good. I don't know why I said that thing out loud. I got a 16.
Okay, with a 16, you pick up one of the empty trays and hold it up at your shoulder like everybody else has.
Okay.
No one around you seems to notice anything out of the ordinary. You don't get any strange looks, and people let you pass.
Okay. I believe, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Last session, I did a check to see whether or not I could remember some of the outline of this building, some of the
Yes,
blueprints, and I
you
did
did.
not roll well.
You did not roll well. No, you didn't roll well at all. Yes.
Yeah. So, I think we've established that I'm in front, like in
Yep.
like when it comes to me and my mom, that I'm in
Mm-hmm.
front. So, I guess I'm gonna make a roll based off of the information that I have on with where I should go.
I will let you roll. Ooh, I will let you roll either a society roll or a thievery roll.
Okay.
Partly because I believe that memorizing schematics in that way falls under thievery. Could be wrong, but I think I do
Um,
anyway.
my society is actually higher than my thievery.
Mm-hmm.
So I still rolled society. I got a
Okay.
26.
Okay, with a 26, going with the flow of traffic isn't a bad idea for this. You and your mother, you want to get to the room where everybody is. Of course, that's going to be where the servants are going. That's where they're
Okay,
needed most.
great. We will just follow everybody else then.
All right. Um, I would like you to make a performance check if you are going to go with everybody else.
Oh my god. Okay. I rolled a 6.
Beautiful.
The
That it?
total?
Oops. Yeah, 6 total.
Oh.
Sorry, I rolled a 1 because I was thinking to myself, like, at least it wasn't a 1, and I just typed 1.
No. Oh God.
Oh no.
Beautiful. So the
Beautiful,
moment
beautiful.
that the rest of the maids are walking out and upstairs, you notice that their entire countenance changes. They go from the relaxed rush that was happening in the servants' area to a very upright and performative walk. almost as though these are dance steps that they've had memorized for years.
Oh my god, yeah, Yule does not mask the fact that she is like, "Oh no," very well at all.
You immediately stand out. The maids around you carrying their trays kind of fan out in this little, very beautiful parring off from each other in a fan shape to immediately then go and wind through the small crowd that has started to build in the ballroom of the Gold Petals. You, however, don't really know where you should be going or what you should be doing. You're kind of just standing at the entry, floundering.
Okay. I will at the very least try to start moving in the same direction as everyone else, even if I don't look quite right. I'm going to hope beyond hope that the people who are going to notice most that I'm not doing exactly what was told are other people working here, because I'm gonna make an assumption about the sort of people at this party that they don't actually pay attention or look at the help at all.
Completely fair. I would like you to roll. What should I get you to roll? I would like you to roll stealth to see if you
Okay.
can blend into the background and hide
Okay.
in plain
Yeah.
sight.
Yeah, Yule definitely at this point is going, I need to just try to not be noticed. I'm not doing the right shit, so I'm gonna try to just disappear. Okay. A 21.
Oh boy, okay. With the 21, you do your best to kind of try and hide in the crowd, but there's really not much of a crowd yet. So, like, your hiding in the crowd also kind of consists of ducking behind a couple of tables. I would like you to just roll perception. Actually, don't roll perception. What is your passive?
My passive perception is 13, I think. Yeah, just my just general perception is 13.
Okay, okay. You immediately trip over something by one of the tables.
God damn it. Okay.
And as you fall to the floor and catch yourself on the hands and your tray goes skittering across the ballroom floor, we are going to take a very short break. We will be back very shortly. Those of you at home, please get a drink, get a snack, stretch. We'll be back in a bit. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, we're
Greetings.
back. Greetings.
We are indeed back. Welcome to the second half of Hellions of Carnocht. If you are with us from the first half, then hello, welcome back. I hope that you went and got some good hydration and a good snack and that we're all feeling great. If you are joining us for the second half, what you missed was Yenna trying to settle in and find somebody. Dell has decided maybe this isn't a wedding. Maybe it's not a wedding. Maybe it's just an engagement, and an engagement is different to a wedding, right? And then figured out that Belial is hiding something when it comes to the strange watch he was given. Oh, and Yuli's breaking in. Yule is doing what Yule does
No,
best and breaking in.
it's going fine.
It's going wonderfully. It's going amazingly. Yule just tripped over something and dropped a tray in the middle of the Great Hall.
Listen, at least there was nothing on it.
But you know what? Little blessings. Didn't waste food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is the loudest clang of a noise, and it echoes throughout the hall. Yenna, you stand at the top of the grand staircase. You had just been announced. Your entry ruined by this maid that had fallen to her knees behind one of the tables.
Hmm. Okay.
The whispers that had travelled around the room at your entrance have immediately come to a halt as mocking laughter starts to fill the room.
Herbeck just goes ramrod straight, chin up, and she just makes like a really subtle gesture. I assume Zanthe is nearby somewhere as my like attendant,
Yes.
and I kind of just be like, kind of like send her to go like collect Yuli. And while I still have like the high ground and everyone can see me, I just sort of like project my voice and I'm like, "Oh, I am so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I she's new. She's a new hire by me. I thought that it was important to help the new household out. So, my apologies to everybody. Please continue to enjoy the party. And I will walk down like nothing is wrong."
Yule looks so confused.
This woman heads over to you. Not Yenna, but the woman that she has sent towards you, who is dressed fairly fine, but quite clearly in clothes that are not of the same quality as the Lady Yenna that has just been announced. And she kneels before you, picking up the tray and offering it to you.
Yule will take it and stand up and nod her head. I think can I make a check on whether or not I think it would be okay to like this seems extreme, but like speak, like if it's okay for me to say thank you or if it would be best if I just like nodded.
Roll society.
Okay.
You can also roll a perception after that as well.
29 on society.
You know that anything overt or particularly long-winded would be inappropriate, but a thank you would definitely be okay.
Okay. Yeah, she'll lightly say thank you and take the tray.
You need not thank me. My lady would like to talk to you.
Um do I recognize Yenna? I don't think I saw any pictures, right, of what Yenna or Dell look like.
You did not. You only saw a clipping that announced their upcoming nuptials.
Right. Okay. Um I want to say Yule will specifically make a point to not look for her mom. Um no eye contact whatsoever with her mom. She doesn't want to know where she is. She's hoping that this distraction, for the good of the team, that her mom is doing whatever she needs to do and has utilized that. Um, but she'll know that she can't say no to like meeting this person, so um, she'll look nervous, but nod again.
Anybody who would like to, apart from Dell, who is not currently in the room, please roll perception.
Get fucked, Dell.
Wait, am I in the room?
Yes, yes, you
Oh.
are.
All right, I'll roll perception.
I'll roll perception too. That's a 29.
Mm-hmm.
Do I not have? Oh, there we go. 23.
I was gonna say, it is right at the top of the sheet. It's not where you're used to looking for it. Yenna, Yule, are you also rolling perception?
Oh, I thought you were talking to them.
Oh, sure.
Not
Oh
to
no!
me.
Anybody in the room. You also have the high ground still, Yenna.
Okay. Does that make...
You get an advantage on it, please.
Okay, cool. Much
I
better.
did
Holy
not
crap.
roll well. I'm distracted.
25?
Okay. So you don't realize this, but the rest of you, as you are watching this happen, you notice movement out the corner of your eye and see what you think was possibly somebody's foot pulling back under a table. You cannot see the rest of the person attached to the foot. The implication being there is somebody under the table.
Can I go
Oh my
try and follow the person under the table?
You can absolutely attempt to get over there. The moment that Yule is being led towards Yenna, the rest of the room seems to have immediately settled back into a soft chatter. There are some derisive words and some rolled eyes and fluttered fans, but no one thinks too much upon it. Of course, Yenna's entourage would be a little new. Tal, I would like you to roll stealth if you're trying to be stealthy, or a society if you are just trying to move through the crowd.
Alrighty. I'm gonna go for stealth because my society sucks. So that's a 27.
Okay, with the 27, you can certainly creep through the crowd and towards the table that you just saw that foot disappear under.
Mm-hmm.
Noelani, what would you like to do?
I think at when it initially happened, it was kind of like, oh no, that's not good even here, is it? And she'll sort of like have looked over at Gad and about, which she insisted on proper attire for them as well. So Gad is actually wearing a little tie around his little fox neck, and About is wearing probably a hat of some sort.
It is the fanciest hat on that little
It's so
cat's
good
head.
looking.
Oh my god,
So cute.
he's the cat in the hat.
And Noelani will sort of like at noticing sort of like the ruffling of like the tablecloth and maybe being like, did I see this foot? She'd be like, About go check, go see what happened.
About gets up and stretches out their little paws and bears 4 doubloons and little claws and is like, it's always me who's sent to investigate things, and just hops down and, as a good little cat, saunters over to the table and immediately goes under the table and makes no attempt to be stealthy about this at all. And Gad
And
just kind of huffs watching and is like, are you sure that was the right choice?
I mean, would you have rather done it? And she'll like
No.
probably like nomming on some sort of like canapé or something. It's like I just felt like he'd probably just go and tell us what he finds.
If a fox could shrug, Gad would shrug.
Yeah.
The moment that you see About slip under the table, and Tal, you see this black cat in a fancy little top hat with flowers around it just duck under the table.
Mm-hmm.
The very table that you are trying to get close to.
Oh, I'm absolutely gonna try and follow the cat too. It's
Oh
like,
my
huh,
goodness.
if the cat's interested in this must be something interesting.
Please roll another stealth to see if you can get under the table without anybody in the room noticing that you are getting under the table.
That is another 27.
Okay. You think nobody saw you, but to be quite honest, you don't really care.
Yep.
And the moment that you slip under the table, you see a very startled young man
Mm-hmm.
holding an equally startled and somewhat disgruntled black cat. And they're looking at each other, and this man is like holding out the black cat and is just then looks at you and is like, I was sure when I got in here that nobody was this table wasn't occupied.
No, it wasn't, but I saw you crawl underneath here, so
Me
it
crawl
is
underneath?
now.
I absolutely didn't. Absolutely not. You see the cat just roll their eyes.
You definitely did. Because otherwise, why would you be
Shh.
under?
Points down.
Okay, you definitely did. Because otherwise, why would you be under a table?
I'm under a table because I'm avoiding people.
Oh. Why are you avoiding people?
Wait a second. And in a rather rude fashion, this boy just reaches out and kind of grabs both of your ears and turns your head one way and then the other. And then up and then down.
What are you doing?
Bunt.
What? That's my cat's name.
What? The little cat in a top hat at this point is like, okay, this is some nonsense, and is gonna squirm until it gets dropped and immediately run out from under the table. Yenna, please roll perception.
Okay. 22.
Okay. With a 22, you definitely saw the cat go under the table. You didn't manage to catch the person follow the cat under the table. But before you can investigate this occurrence, your lady's maid is back with Yule in tow. And it's like, my lady, your new hire?
Thank you, Zanthe.
You're
Um,
welcome.
she will kind of like make probably some like polite apology and excuse to like whoever like she'd greeted first, and then is going to be like, have I had an opportunity to figure out where the fuck like a private room would be that I could talk to this person without us being interrupted?
Absolutely not. The only place that you know that would be more private than the ballroom that you are currently in would be back out in the hall where you just came from.
Okay. Cool. I'm just gonna try to duck into a room that's not this room. Let's pick a room.
Roll me a d4.
Cool. I hope I end up somewhere weird.
Yule is so sweaty right now.
3.
Beautiful. With a 3, you yank open a door that leads to a small hallway and drag Yule down it. And by drag, I simply mean you lead the way, and Sankai is like guiding Yule down with the implication that you cannot leave.
Right, Yule's getting corralled into a room. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And you turn into the closest room. and are immediately met with the sight of your fiance
Uh-huh.
sat across from a man who bears an awful resemblance to Dell.
Oh no!
Honestly, this is better than the alternative.
I was afraid of the alternative of it being Belial. And they weren't going to be sitting across from each other. So I literally thought across his lap.
Listen.
Yenna?
Yeah.
Yenna, you are met with the sight of High Lord GoldPetal, with a crown of oak leaves across his brow, and his salt and pepper hair braided back, and his finest suit sat upon his shoulders, looking at you incredulously as you burst into the room with a maid and your lady's maid.
Oh, my lords, I apologize. I did not realize this room was occupied. And she's like bowing like to the point where like if she's basically about to get on her knees and do like the full like forehead to the, to the floor thing.
Oh god.
Yeah, and she's like, I am so sorry. I was just looking for somewhere private to discuss an incident. My apologies. And we'll just be trying to like back out of the room as quickly as possible. She's like, nope. Get out. Abort.
Dell's like halfway up being like, let me help or send someone. One second, father. And he'll kind of get up and beckon whoever else is in the room. And like, because he'll have some kind of.
Oh,
there will be people
in the room.
Present.
Belial is in the room.
Okay. Yeah. So I think he'll like look at Belial and like kind of like nod to Yenna. Like they don't need words.
Belial gives like a disgruntled little look and bows, and is like, "Right away, my lord," and will kind of approach Yenna as respectfully as possible. But your father, I think, Dell, stands looking very amused and waves a hand and is like, so much bluster over nothing. Please, Lady Yenna, take a seat. Your family, after all, and you should be privy to family discussions.
Dell sits down like the look on his face is just like, oh god.
All right. Thank you, my lord. You're so gracious. Zanthe, do me a favor and please escort our maid to my apartment, please.
No, you've obviously bought this, fine young lady here for a reason. Please, Lady Yenna, go ahead. We are all family here. If you have need to use this room, your staff is our staff.
Okay. I just really wanted to give her a few pointers as far as how to blend in more appropriately. I feel like I've made
The clatter from the ballroom.
Yes, and I apologize, my lord. I didn't realize that there was going to be choreography, and that is on me.
My Lady Yenna, please still yourself. If one of your entourage has not been taught all that they should have known before entering the ballroom, that is upon my son's head of staff.
You are absolutely right, Father? And he'll, like, give Belial a look, like, as apologetic as it can be, but, like, wow, they're in the presence of his father. So it is not very...
Roll insight. Anybody who would like to in this room right now.
100%.
Nope. I don't know this man. I don't know fucking anything. I got a 10.
Jenna, I will tell you, you do have a natural 20 that has been gifted to you by chat.
It's okay, I'm about to use my nat 20 that was gifted to me forever ago. He wants to know what is going through this man's head.
I need my natural 20 for something else.
My hands are sweaty.
Knees weak.
Literally.
Mom spaghetti.
Mom spaghetti. I'm like, I'm not okay. Dell's not okay. Everything has to be perfect. Things are not perfect. He's stressed.
I'm not a fucking K.
Exactly. It's on his playlist for a reason.
Yule.
Yep.
With your nat 20, something's fucking going on here. Your conspiracy senses are tingling. One, High Lord GoldPetal is quite possibly one of the highest ranking people you will ever meet. This man used to own Carnocht. And he's sat here looking like he is waiting for his son to mess up.
Yikes.
Dell looks like panic is 2 seconds away. Like, full-on breakdown panic. And the servant in the room, the steward in a very nice suit, is looking a little green around the edges, and, like, he might just check out for a moment. But you saw the look that Dell and the steward shared. And that was one hell of a meaningful look. Dell?
Yeah.
Your dad knows. Oh god, your dad knows.
Oh god. Oh, my hands are so sweaty. In real life.
Jenna, you don't know what the fuck is going on with these people.
Nope. And
You're like, this room is full of so much tension. But you don't know the meaning behind any of it.
Yeah.
Oh god, okay.
I think if basically he's blaming Belial for what happened, and I think honestly she might not like Belial, but I don't think she's cool with that. And she's gonna be like, with all due respect, my lord, and I truly mean that, Belial couldn't possibly have known that I was going to bring something.
Why is it always that when people say with all due respect, what they really mean is kiss my ass?
Father,
Lady Yenna, Dell, sit down.
Dell sits down.
Lady Yenna, have you received a proper welcome to this house?
I have, my lord.
And in that proper welcome unto this house, did you receive the due respect that you should have been given from its staff?
Everyone has been perfectly lovely.
I would like you to roll deception, please.
Sure.
They're doing their best.
I feel like this is probably the time to use my natural 20.
Bless you. Covering my boy's ass.
Yenna does her own dirty work. She doesn't need Daddy GoldPetal to do it for her.
Oh God.
Daddy Gold Pebble.
Sure,
What is-
whatever. It's his
What
name
is
now.
your total?
Total would be 21, which is why I used it.
Okay. He narrows his eyes for a moment, and you see that plainly. He doesn't try to hide it. And then gives you a very calculated smile and a bow. I'm glad that my son has extended you the hospitality that you are so deserved, and that his house has followed suit.
Of course, my lord.
And to your staff, I apologize for any untoward behavior and any kind of missing education that you have been given, or not, as the case may be.
Yule just bows her head deeply.
Dear girl, and he's addressing you now, Yule. A stumble should not see you dragged to a separate room. Do you mean to dismiss her? And he asks you that, Yenna.
Oh, no, sir. I just would like to have a conversation with her. I believe that we owe everybody a little bit of grace.
Grace. Indeed. Then I do believe you have a job to do. And he smiles at Yule. And feel free to roll insight if you would like to, Yule.
I'd love to.
I'm so sweaty.
No, absolutely not.
What did you roll?
I mean, I'll type it, but it's a no from me, dog.
You think it's a very friendly smile, and you also see it for the dismissal that it is.
Okay. I will leave the room then.
Would it be appropriate for Yenna to send Sunghae off with her as well then? To be like, oh, okay.
Roll society.
Sure. That girl ain't leaving this party. She's not allowed. 25.
Sanghae is one of your staff. You can do with her as you wish.
Okay, yeah, I will kind of just like give a similar like dismissal and just be like, and hope that she knows me well enough to do what I want her to do. But just keep an eye on Yule.
She gives a bow, but you do notice that as she bows, she flashes you a little wink.
Mm.
And immediately leaves after Yule.
Right, love this girl. I just met her yesterday. She's the best.
Now that I have you both alone, perhaps we should talk of your upcoming nuptials. And he's going to motion to the chairs that are free around the table, Yenna.
Yeah.
Please, my lady, sit.
Thank you, my lord. And she'll just like sit down and do like a little hop up. And she like manages to make it look pretty graceful for someone in a giant dress, like humbuck skirt just to the floor.
Del, you are being given a very pointed look by your father at this moment in time.
Belial's still here, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Del will effectively make a hand wave to dismiss him. I assume that's what the pointed look is. And he doesn't risk looking back or anything like that.
Yenna, you notice that Belial gives a deep bow even though Del isn't looking, and very stiffly leaves the room. Elsewhere, under a table, in a ballroom where the music has started playing and people have started dancing, and the socialites of Carnocht are making themselves at home. Noelani, you see as your companion, the little cat in the top hat, ducks back under the tablecloth and trots over to you with a little question mark tail. And immediately starts winding around your legs.
What did you see?
There's a man under the table.
A man down there?
A man under two men, in fact.
Two of them? I don't think they're supposed to be there. What were they doing down there?
Well, they seem to be conversing. They seem to know each other.
Well, that's weird, right, Gad? That's weird. And she's just kind of checking in on the, she's seen some weird stuff in the Fae courts, but is this up above table, or what's happening under the table?
I think you'll find it is decidingly under the table.
I would like you to roll society, Noelani.
Great. Everybody gets to roll society tonight. Oh, that's a natural 1 for a total of 11.
Well, this just must be how it's done here. If people are meeting under the table, maybe you should go and introduce yourself. They are obviously having a meeting there.
That's just weird, right? I mean, if they're
maybe do weird things in this world.
Maybe that's what the tables are for. You did wonder why they seem to have covered them with material. Maybe they're private conversation rooms.
Yeah, I mean that checks out to me. Yeah, so she'll sort of look at Gad and bounce what were they talking about? Oh, right here on this one, and she'll sort of make her way to the table, sort of stand next to it. It's can she hear anything?
Roll perception.
That was a 24.
With a 24, you can hear the low murmur of voices, but you can't quite make out what they're saying. To be completely fair, the room is full of music at this point. People have started dancing and the chatter is in full swing.
Yeah. Let me see here real quick. Okay, I think she'll look both sides and crouch down. And sort of speak to the tablecloth, be like, hello, is there room for one more?
How you hear this? I
absolutely jump at this.
You jump, but this strange man under the table still has your face in his hands. But he also jumps, so it's fine. It's no one's here. Please go away.
No one's here at all.
I think
Gad is gonna lean close to you and be like, I think there are people here.
I think so. And she'll like Noelani will do the thing where she'll like pick up the mantle and just kind of like peek her head in, so it looks like she's like little like babushka. It's like, I think that pretty much means you are down here. What are you guys doing?
I need you to make oh gosh, how did we do this in Pathfinder? The question I am constantly asking. Can you just roll Dex for me, please?
Sure. Will it let me roll dex? That's the question. I have dice. We have the power. That is a 9 of just straight up dex.
Beautiful. You do not manage to back away before this darkly suited man reaches out, grabs you, and tugs you under the table with him and Tal. You are now all three under the table.
Great.
And the man in the dark suit with the dark hair is just looking at you very curiously, Noelani. And has finally dropped your face, Tal, keeping his hands to himself again. And it's like, I don't know, but you I know, and points at Tal.
I don't think you know me. You must have me confused with someone else.
No, I'm pretty sure that I know you. I just didn't expect you to have such luscious locks.
Tal's just like nervously like braiding his hair now. Like he needs something to do with his finger or his hands. He's just like braiding it and then unbraiding it and braiding it back again.
Oh, I'm being rude, aren't I?
I mean, when you grabbed my face, and then called me a name that wasn't mine, that was rude. This I think is a step beyond rude.
Oh, well then I hope this makes it better. Hello, it's nice to meet you. It's nice to re-meet you. My name's Hyun Woo. I think it's a little awkward bow, considering how cramped you three are under the table right now.
The three of them just like underneath this table, just like truly gobbling it. And Tal just gives a little bow, and upon raising his head, smacks it on the top of the table or the underside of the table, because he is still 6'3", and goes, "That's better. I'm Tal Erringwell."
And Noelani will also sort of bow her head. She's like, I'm Noelani Menderes. Sorry to interrupt your meeting if you were reacquainting yourselves. I just, that whole thing that just happened, I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't like on purpose. If it was like a prank, that would have been like really mean.
Roll insight.
All of us?
If you want to, yes.
A 19.
That's under a 14.
With a 19, Noelani,
Mm-hmm.
and with a 14, Tal. It wasn't on purpose. But Noelani, you see the little flicker across Hyunwoo's face that says, he's also not kind of sorry. And he shuffles a little awkwardly under the table, trying to get a bit more comfortable. And it's just like, I mean, I didn't realize that my foot was that far out. But in all due fairness, she didn't hurt herself. I didn't mean to do it.
I mean, that's valid. If you didn't mean to do it, then that's already a good start. I just, I was taught that, in this realm, they usually stand up to their actions. So I just wanted to make sure that, if it was on purpose, then justice was seen, or that an apology is
You're right, an
offered.
apology would be the absolutely best thing for me to do. Maybe I should give that apology to Yule right now. And is
Uh,
gonna try and like stumble to his feet. It gets to a
I'm gonna
crouch.
I'm gonna just like put my hand out and like grab his shoulder and be like,
He stumbles a little.
"You're
Uh-huh.
oh did I mean I'm assuming that's never mind. You've probably met her before.
Oh no, no. No, yes, we've met.
Um,
You feel free to roll inside again.
yeah.
You know everybody at this party.
No? I know a few people at this party. I don't know everybody.
I got a 17.
I got a 29. Give it to me.
Hyunwoo is lying through his fucking teeth. Like, Tal, you know he's definitely lying about having met the maid girl before.
Mm-hmm.
But Noelani, you think he's lying about everything. You think he probably does know everybody in this ballroom. If not on like a personal level, he knows of them.
Yeah. Noelani will like squint her eyes. It's like I said, manners make the person. And in these parties, manners is all that matters. Sometimes. Sometimes. Just sort of like
Yeah,
take a moment.
absolutely. You are very right. So I should go and I should apologize. And Hyunwoo's gonna do like a really awkward little crouch step to try and get away from Tal's hand on his
But
shoulder.
but I how why did you think why do you think my name is Monty?
I must have just got it confused with the name of your cat.
You've never met my cat,
I've
as
never
far as
met
I
your
know.
cat,
I've
but
never mentioned my cat here.
you literally said that was the name of your cat. I'm
Yes,
leaving. Goodbye.
prior to this, I've not mentioned my cat's name in this godforsaken house, and he's like crawling out from under the table after
Yes, at this point,
after he
Hyunwoo is
moved.
trying to leave the table. Yes, with an
And
attached towel.
yep. And I imagine that if he's managed to get partially out from the table, Tal's probably grabbed onto his foot, and so he's really dragging Tal out from underneath the table.
I really should go and apologize to that poor maid girl. I mean, wow, how rude
You
am
really need to
I?
explain yourself.
Explanations? Who gives those? And is desperately trying to shake you off.
I'll let you go if you explain what's going on.
I would like you to roll stealth just to see how much of a scene you are making.
Yeah.
Quite a scene, I'm sure. That is an 18.
Okay. Yes. Most of the ballroom at this point is looking at you.
Oops.
Your mother is looking at you, horrified at what you're doing. You have drawn the eyes of so many of the upper echelon of Karnak. And the moment that you realize this, Hyunwoo also seems to realize this, and kind of pauses with his foot in the air because he was trying to shake you off his foot. Noelani, are you doing anything in this awkward pause?
I think her reaction would be to sort of like come out on the other side of the table to sort of front that she wasn't under the table, but also sort of like interrupt on the other side, kind of like be on Hyunwoo's back, basically.
Can I get you to roll stealth to see how many people see you do that, and whether or not it takes the attention away from these two idiots?
17.
I see. You stand up, and almost as though all of the upper echelon of Carnocht are puppets on the same rig, all the heads turn and swivel in your direction, Noelani, and a soft gasp ripples through the gathered crowd, and you hear someone go, "Those two at once."
And Noelani sort of does that like little like sort of like hand wave, like very close to her body, like nothing to see here. Hello, hi, hello, looking good tonight.
Please roll society just to see how well that goes over.
And I would actually like to use a cantrip while doing that.
Okay.
I would like to use infectious enthusiasm.
Okay, what does that do?
So, with Enchanted Gusto, you encourage yourself to get things done and share your motivation with your allies. I gain a +1 status bonus to my choice of roll, will save, or charisma-based skill checks, which is kind of what I'm hoping for.
Yep.
And during the spell's duration, anybody that basically that observed the casting of the spell and is within 30 feet, they can take a single action, which has the concentration trait, to gain the same bonus I choose, so that charisma check. And using this, this is the part that I'm interested in. Also, using the spell to influence someone in a social situation is typically considered a faux pas, negating the benefit on charisma-based skills if the subject of the check observed you casting the spell. So I'm trying to be like, nothing to see here, folks. Very charismatic.
But everybody is observing you cast it.
I see your point. I see your point.
You are still welcome to do this.
No.
But everybody is observing you cast it, which means that unless you try and cast it stealthily, everybody's gonna know. So if you would like to try and cast that stealthily, please roll stealth.
Yeah, I think I'll take a stealth roll. That's a 22 for stealth.
Okay, alright. You think nobody saw.
Great. And that's a 22 also for society +1, so 23 total.
Okay. There are a few nervous laughs around you, a couple of titters. And someone goes, "Isn't that the Fay delegate? Oh, she's so much younger than her mother. But so enthusiastic." And like a ripple of whispers go through the crowd. And Tal, you hear your mother's voice call out, "Oh, children will be children, won't they?" And a lot of the crowd start to laugh. And Noelani, you get the impression that even if you haven't won over the entire crowd, you've won over influential people in it.
Yeah. Great. And she'll sort of use that to she'll grab sort of like you know when somebody grabs you like from the back of like you, like right at your elbow, like right above your elbow, and just kind of like pinch Hyungwoo and Tal. It's like, we should probably take this elsewhere, shall we?
Where are you going to take it? Are you looking for somewhere out of the ballroom?
At least to like the outskirts of the ballroom. Just like get out of the middle of the ballroom at least. Just...
There are several doors around the ballroom. You can try and leave if you would like to.
Yeah, Tal, go ahead.
I definitely think that Tal, having realized that upon hearing his mother's voice and seeing his mother, is just like he's completely and utterly just like red, and truly embarrassed that he has been seen, and so he's gonna just like as quickly as possible just like go to the first door he sees and try to open it.
Please roll a d4.
A 3.
A 3.
Oui.
It opens up onto a little hallway, and you turn off onto the very first door that you get to, and Del. Yenna.
Oh God.
I love this game so much.
It's a good game, guys. It's a good game. Sorry, I got so distracted that Hyunwoo's still on the screen. I'm gonna take him off for a sec.
He's with us. No,
I mean, he's
she's
with us.
grabbing both of them.
But listen,
Noelani has
there's a
both
lot
of
of us.
Yeah.
You know, I can put him back here. I'll put him back. We like him here.
Yeah, we do. He's really pretty.
He's just pretty. Yeah, look at him.
Yeah, he's a very pretty man.
It's my comfort.
So
Oh, give it.
yeah, so Hal has not met. He doesn't know what Del looks like. He certainly doesn't know what Lord GoldPetal looks like, and he surely does not know what Yenna looks like. And so he's just like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'll just be. I didn't realize that this room was occupied. I'll just be going now."
Oh, they must be.
Del, Yenna, the High Lord GoldPetal is literally sitting there with his mouth open, was just about to start in on at least some sort of lecture. And there is just a look of incredulousness across his face. But it's also a moment, a pause, that you could take an opportunity of.
Yeah, I think Del stands up and just like, I think I need to get things back into order myself. And he just gets up and starts hushing, like throwing everyone out of the room, like turning his back on his dad and just like, just please go, just please go.
Yeah,
And, like,
you know, jump up and like,
everyone out of the room.
my lord, I'm sorry, but we must get back to the party. Clearly, things are
Clearly we're needed.
without us. Yes, and it's just sort of like, do I see Hyunwoo?
The moment that you start trying to help Del, like, rush out everybody, yes, you see Hyunwoo, who is, like, being dragged along by one arm on Tal and one arm by Noelani.
She probably honestly just shuts which is basically just like Korean curse words. Just...
As
he just gives you a little wave.
as soon as they're in the hallway, Del is going to like run to like a panel in the wall and be like, "Get in as fast as you can. He's gonna follow us."
The door starts to open. Are you following Del GoldPetal?
Yeah, I'm going
Absolutely.
to
I don't
grab.
know who this man is, but I trust him in my way.
I'm going to grab Hyunwoo from whoever is holding him right now and be like, "Nah," kind of like make a face at Noelani and then shove him through that door.
Oh, okay, we're going. And Hyunwoo is shoved.
And Noelani, when she passes out, it's like, I am so sorry.
No time. In. And he like waves over like a steward and just like fuck with the door for a second and runs in and like closes the panel in the wall behind them.
You hear a very posh, "Yes, my young lord." And the moment that you're on the other side of the door, you hear, "Oh dear, the lock appears to be broken."
I love these butlers.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Del will like slump against it. We're effectively inside a wall right now.
You are in a servant's crawl space, which is very narrow. You can only stand like in a line. And you are, yes, effectively stuck in a wall together right now.
Yeah,
Cool.
and Dell's just gonna hold, like, a finger up to his lips and, like, point and shuffle past whoever's in the way and just, like, lead the way to a room that he knows is gonna be, like, no one's gonna be there, or at least, for the love of God, if someone's in there, they are not supposed to be.
Across the house, this grand, several-story townhouse, you are being
Yeah.
guided to a room with a very firm hand on your back. You are not being allowed anywhere near the ballroom. The woman guiding you is very insistent, but also very polite. She hasn't grabbed your arm. She is just guiding you.
I think the whole time that we're walking, Yule is sort of like looking for an opportunity to slip away, but I assume this person is pretty vigilant.
She is incredibly vigilant, but then again, so is the person following you. The steward from the room catches up with you rather quickly and stands on your other side. And Yule, he looks at you and he sighs very heavily. I do not recognize your name from the manifest, Yule MossBluff.
Yule immediately clocks that he knows her name. She looks sort of panicked, but doesn't say anything.
I think perhaps it is best that we all have an opportunity to talk. If you would follow me. And Belial is going to lead you down a long hallway to a very empty room. And that is where we're going to leave it for this evening.
Ugh.
You stole my girl! You kidnapped my girl!
Bye, guys.
Ugh.
Hope you all have a really fun time getting to know each other
I'm
again.
sorry!
I think we're going to the same room, guys.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Belial and Tink were very much on the same page with where they had to go.
Mhm.
It'll be real fun.
Ugh.
Just all of us. I don't think you understand the amount of screaming happened behind the scenes. We're
I
just
have been trying to ignore the Discord pinging for the last 20 minutes.
That's probably for the
Great.
best.
Thank you all so much for joining us. I hope that you guys have had a great time watching. We've certainly had a great time playing. And we'll be back next Monday. Same D&D time, same D&D channel. Do we have any ongoing shows at the moment or anything coming up next week?
Just us. Just come back
Just
next
us.
Monday. As far as I
Yeah.
know, it's just us.
All right, cool. So,
Oh my god, what was the Discord just ate that?
just us, guys.
Oh,
If you've enjoyed yourselves, please consider giving us a follow. If you'd like to support us, please consider giving us a sub. We've got a Patreon as well with several reward tiers that you can take a look at if you'd like to, including several off-camera scenes that add to the lore of the game.
that are totally free to read on the Patreon.
Yeah. Yep.
Just saying.
And patrons get early access to those as they're released. And if you would like to talk about the show, jump into Discord. We'd love to hear from you.
Otherwise, thank you all so
until
much
next
for
time.
watching. See you
Yeah,
next
thank
time.
you guys so
Bye.
much. Thank you to our patrons. We love you all. Goodbye, guys. Keep rolling.
Bye.
Bye.